Hey everybody, I'm driving around. Thought I'd ride over here to LakeView boat ramp. Used to be a popular place back in the day. Man, I got a buddy said back when his dad was young, they would come from Memphis and come down here. They had cabins and all that stuff. And go down here, you could rent a boat. They had a bar, they had a store. I remember when I was little, my grandmother would get me and my cousins and my sister and all, and we'd ride from North Fork up in Memphis down here, and she would buy a catfish. It was an old Volvo station wagon, and us kids would ride in the back. We'd go down there and get that catfish, and they would wrap it in newspaper, and we'd poke on it with our fingers all the way home, and she'd make catfish, and she'd make French fries or whatever, all kinds of stuff. That's back when we were like 4 or 5 years old. I remember that. But anyway, LakeView Trailer Park's at the end of my street. I live on DeSoto Road, and it's sort of dog legs, and it deads into the ramp. We're gonna go over and check it out. Years ago, some hunting club or something bought it or leased it or whatever, and they closed it down to the public. But we're gonna go see if they've got it blocked off or whatever. There used to be some good fishing over there. And, anyway, so here it is. We're DeSoto Road, and up here down the road at the stop sign, it's sort of dog legs. It's a pretty cool road after you get off of this part of it. You get down there to it. But yeah, I remember people used to go down there and party at a bar down there, dancing. You go down and rent a boat for, I think, $5 a day, something like that. People come down there and get their boat motors out of the back of their truck and put on there and load their picnic stuff and all that, and they go out on that lake and stay all day long. So this is the end of DeSoto Road here, but it dog legs and carries on right here to the right. DeSoto Road. We'll turn right here. Anyway, this is a pretty cool little road here. It gets a little thin on down here a little bit. Some pretty nice houses back in here, sort of isolated, really pretty. And up here there's an old, I think it used to be a cattle farm. Got the big grain bins and all that stuff. I forgot what the name of it is, but it's been here for a long time. And through the years of me living in my place, I'd catch possums and raccoons that were getting in my garbage can, and I'd come down here, this little church at the end of the street, and I would let them go. That would get them about, I guess, 5-6 miles away from the house and let them go. Here's that farm I was talking about. With the bends and all that. This road a little narrow. Yeah. Pretty neat. A lot of cattle and stuff like that. Used to be a happening place back in. Now back there at right down the road is that Elvis Presley's ranch that he had years ago. They had that rainbow bridge going across the lake and all that stuff. It's a big old pink building. Anyway, that place is sort of run down, but I think some guys from Australia bought it. Now, several years ago, they were going to make a theme park or a water park for DeSoto County, and then We never heard anything else of it. Yeah, look how narrow this road gets. It gets really pretty neat. Nice ride on a motorcycle down through here. Used to, you could come down through here, and where it really narrows down, you'd find a burned up car, or somebody dumps the garbage on the side of the road. It looks like they might be trying to widen it out a little bit or something. Yeah, a little narrow. Yeah, up hilly and real narrow, really pretty up in here, especially when the sun's out and all that. This is like a cut through to go to 61. So I go over here at Lakeview. This used to be the way I would go, and then they closed it down. But let's see here. There's a subdivision there, South Ridge. I don't know if that's the name of it or the name of the street. But yeah, and then there's this place at Lakeview's got a trailer park right there at the entrance. It used to be a happening place. A lot of popular people live there. Here's that little church where I would bring those raccoons and possums and let them out right there. Here we are. It's DeSoto Road and 61. There's Lakeview Trailer Park over there. And let me cross this 61 here. Alright. And you go up there. Let's keep going straight ahead. And it should take us right to the boat dock. There's a lady out here walking her 3 dogs. Yep, there's Lakeview right there ahead of us. Let's see here. There's some people, some cars down here. They might be fishing. I thought this place was closed off years ago. Let's see. Yeah, it is closed off. They're fishing. Do not block driveway. So right here, there used to be a bar and a restaurant. I always played music. And then right here, there used to be a dock. And down in here is where they kept all the boats. And you come down here and rent boats. There's been some good fishing out there. Well, this is supposed to be posted, but I guess some people's coming down here fishing. An old train track. Let's see. See any trains coming? Nope. Alright. Ride on down here and see what this is. I've never been down this street here. Let's see what it is. It might go into the back of the trailer park. No, it goes to a dead end. No, it don't. Yeah, it does go into the trailer park. Now here's an old, this is where the sewer runs off here from the trailer park. I guess you call it a cesspool or whatever. Here's old trailers. Now back in the 60s now, these were really nice. They were all new. A lot of people that lived here were fishermen. They put the mobile homes in here, and they would fish Lakeview. And then at Lakeview, it goes into the Mississippi River when the river's real high. But anyway, I'm pretty sure this is an inexpensive place to stay if you put an RV or a mobile home in here. Yeah, the place has been here a long time. Well, like that camper's pretty well. It's for sale. Anybody needing a camper, there's one for sale. But, yep. It might be pretty quiet out here. I don't see no people out or nothing. A friend of mine, James, used to live here. And then he moved off. I think he moved there last year, I believe. He stayed in right by the main entrance. Let me see some of these places here. Yep. Matter of fact, that's where he used to stay, right there next to that stop sign where that little camper is. I think he lived there a good year or so. Right there. The corner lot. Every morning at about 7 o'clock, all the kids in the neighborhood would sit right outside his door and wait on a school bus. But so this is the trailer park. I'm gonna back out on DeSoto Road. Oh, look at that old tree right there. That's a big old tree. Anyway, if you take a left here, you'll go into Memphis. Right up there on the left, there used to be, years ago, used to be an ammunition plant. And my mom used to work at it. And they closed it down. That's back in the 70s, I think, 80s, something like that. A little church. But yeah, I just thought I'd ride down there to LakeView and look at that. I knew it was probably closed. Now, there's people fishing, but I think that would be considered trespassing, I believe. Now, I don't know. They might be taking a chance, but shoot, I wouldn't mind going down and fishing if you can fish like that. But they were parked on the track and crossing the rail where it said posted land. So, yeah, I love these old little windy, curly, hilly roads. A lot of dirt, so they must be digging on the side of the road and clearing out the ditches and everything, doing some maintenance on it or something. But after a while, there's mud and stuff washes up over the road. It gets a little messy. Here's the only wiggly part right here in this curb. They used to narrow down right here into a 1 lane. I believe it's right here. Yep, right here. It used to be a 1 lane. You had to be real careful. If anything was coming at you, you had to scoot over. Yeah, I just love these hills on the side of the road like this. Just so pretty. Yep, and there's a pond, lake down in there off the road. I bet there's some big fish down in there. There's a duck out there on the log. There you go. But that was a little short trip to LakeView Trailer Park and LakeView boat ramp, which has been closed down for years. And I'm sure if you're from around this area, everybody that is, they're familiar with it, because they used to be a popular place. And like I said, back in the day, they had log cabins and little places like that where you could come and rent them for the weekend. I think they had like not ferry ride, boat rides or something, where you could rent a boat. Several people could go on a tour or whatever, and they'd ride around the lake all day long or something like that. That's just stuff I heard, but I do remember the renting the little John boats, and everybody'd bring their little boat motors and mount them on the boat and put them in the water, and they go out fishing all day long. But my first time I ever been there was when I was probably about 5 years old, and we came from Memphis up there off of Norris Road. My grandmother would come down here and buy her a big old catfish, cook all of us kids catfish dinner and whatever else. We was so little, I don't remember what all she cooked, but I knew that catfish. Us kids would poke on it with our fingers, and so we'd ride in the back of it. But anyway, I just thought I'd do this little video, and as one of my other adventures or tours or a memory or whatever, and I just wanted to do that. But I guess I'll talk to y'all later on. I'm gonna end this video, I guess, until I get another one. But look at my channel. I got several videos. Nothing special about them, but I'm doing them for memories. You can still subscribe, thumbs up, comment. If you want to comment about LakeView Trailer Park, go ahead. I'd like to hear some of your comments. That's might be some of my comments on it that I actually know. I don't know. But anyway, I'm gonna close this video out. That squirrel running across the road, and I guess I'll talk to you later on. Everybody have a blessed day. Bye.